I didn't know, but ever since I was a kid, I wanted to do something that would make women think in a different way, that would affect women. I didn't know what it would be because I grew up in the 60s and the 70s, which were very sexist, very rigid, what women could and couldn't do. So I always prayed that someday I could change how women think. And I've been very lucky because I think Sex in the City has done that. How I wrote Sex in the City, how hard I worked to get there, why I invented Carrie Bradshaw, and what happened to me afterward. And I tell the story of the real Mr. Big.
Is there one real Mr. Big?
Oh, yes. There's a real Mr. Big.
Is he similar to Chris
Maybe
North?
not as good looking as Chris Noth, but you know, they never
Is it true that the shoes on stage are yours?
Yes, there are lots of shoes on stage, and we have to travel with all those shoes. I'd like to bring more shoes. I have more shoes than that. Yes, and some of the shoes are Manolos.
Wow.
So it's very fun, and people take pictures of the shoes. It's a great girls' night out.
Yes.
And I play a little game with the audience, real or not real, because there's so many things that happened in the show that happened in my real life, but they're better or worse.
Yeah, you already told in some interviews that I saw it on your Instagram site that you are the OG Carrie Bradshaw, means the
Yes.
original Carrie Bradshaw. Which part of you is still Carrie?
Maybe the fact, well, I'm still writing.
Yes.
And I guess I'm still dating.
Are you?
Well, I don't go on very many dates, but technically, I suppose I would.
And what do you think about the dating scene nowadays? Because it's changed a lot since the 90s.
Yes, it's changed a lot. And it's interesting, you know, it's all dating apps, but nobody likes it.
Yes.
Me, I'm happy. I'm happy that I am over 60 and not 20 or 30 because it's the young women, they have the worst time.
Yes.
And you would think, oh, surely you can find a guy.
Yeah.
I hear the worst stories.
Yeah, because it's I think, is it more dangerous nowadays maybe as were in the 90s? Because when I think of the 90s in New York, it was very free spirit with a lot of clubs, and we can see in the show also, or read on the column in the book, you just went everywhere and you just walked outside. And nowadays I hear from the news it's not very safe, not even in New York, to just walk around as a woman alone or with just women friends together.
No, I think it's fine. But you know, I mean, the thing about dating apps, it used to be, it was always somebody who was in your world, right? Because you would meet somebody at a bar or somebody in your neighborhood. So there was some kind of knowledge about them, but now people meet complete strangers.
Yes, yes.
And so that's always a little bit more, that's always more dangerous, I think.
Yes, and so the dating drugs or this raping drugs. So
Oh, yes.
it's very, very dangerous thing for women. I think I didn't date since more than 10 years. I'm in a relationship, so I don't know what it's like to date nowadays.
It seems to be very difficult to make a connection.
Yes.
That seems to be very hard. And also people, you know, they text and then you never hear from them again. Or people say they go on a date with someone, they never hear from them again.
How is your Mr. Big looks like from inside? So what who should be your Mr. Big?
Well, I always say to women, become your own Mr. Big. So that's really one of the messages of the show is you
Uh-huh.
need to become your own Mr. Big. God, my Mr. Big. God, I don't know. I don't even know. I haven't even thought about it.
What's your dream date?
Oh, my dream date. I guess a dream date would just be somebody who I had a connection with.
Mhm.
For me, I like my life and I like my friends. And I've had the same friends, from before Sex in the City.
Are they those who were the ground of the characters?
Yes. So, I have my Samantha, Miranda, Charlotte. I have lots of girlfriends.
Mhm. They know that there will be on in the columns or in the book or in the TV show.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. But, on the TV show, they're so different
Mhm.
because they're played by actresses.
Yes.
And then it takes on a life of its own. I don't think anybody can say, oh, they could say maybe at the beginning they were the inspiration for that character.
Mhm.
But I mean, I don't think that there's anybody who says, like, oh, I'm that character.
Mix of your experiences, actually,
Yes.
or the people
Yes.
you met.
Oh, my dream date. So, I'd
Yes.
like to be with somebody who fits into my world.
Is it hard to fit in your world because you're jet setting now with the show all over the world, to from
Oh,
Australia to London to Hungary to Europe to the USA?
well, I was married and I did have to travel a lot.
Mhm.
And my husband had to travel a lot too.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I forgot about that. But that is one of the realities that can be difficult because I'm going to go away for a whole month in March because I'm going to do Prague, UK, Budapest.
Switzerland.
So I'm gone for a whole month. That's always hard.
Have you ever been to Hungary or to Budapest?
No, I'm very much looking forward to it.
Do you know any Hungarians maybe? Because
I do. I do, but they live in New York. Peter Thomas Roth.
yes,
It's
yes,
skincare.
yes, I know, I know.
He's my good friend, and his mother is Hungarian.
Yes, the grandson made TikTok.
TikTok
Yes,
with the grandmother.
yes. Who always speaks Hungarian on the videos.
Yes, exactly. So those are the Hungarian people I know.
I follow them on TikTok. Yes.
And then he had a dinner party and he only served Hungarian food.
And
It,
did you like it?
yes, it was very good.
It was very good.
It was
And you
very good.
were looking for trying it in Hungary.
Yes, yes. And then I'm going to tell him that I'm coming to Budapest. He's going to be very excited.
You mentioned the actresses in the show. Do you have a connection or relationship with them or friendship maybe?
No, not really, but if I see them, it's always very friendly,
Mhm.
but I don't hang out with them or anything like that.
Yeah.
I really only see them. Well, sometimes I run into Cynthia Nixon because she's in the Hamptons.
Mhm.
So sometimes I run into her. Sometimes I run into Sarah Jessica Parker, mostly at premieres
Mhm.
for Sex in the City. She's very nice. Love her. They're great. They're all great.
At the beginning, you were part of the show, TV show, or you were very involved in the TV show. After, not so. Is it true that the tutu was only $5?
That is probably true.
Because it's so an iconic tutu in the opening, and I read somewhere that it was only in a vintage shop. It was bought in a vintage shop for $5. Actually, I'm one of few Hungarians, I think, who also saw Lipstick Jungle. I
Yes.
loved it because I'm obsessed with Kim Raven.
Yes, she's so
She's
good.
amazing, and this whole show is very good. Are you working on something now besides traveling all around the world with the show?
Maybe on a TV show, but I wrote another book called One Fifth Avenue. That's about people in a wealthy building in New York.
Yes.
So that has been optioned, and Hollywood. It's now that the fires and
Yes.
who knows?
Yes, it's very tragic now.
Yes.
What's happening there? And what about reality? I read somewhere
Well,
that
I
it
was
was a
trying to
plan.
do a reality show, but nobody bought it. So, dating women over 50.
Yes.
Nobody bought it. So,
Are the men afraid that they will end up in one of your shows or in one of your books?
I don't think so. They probably want to. People always come up to me and say, "Oh, I should write about them." Or somebody should do a TV show about them. People want to be written about. They want to say, I'm on a team.
What is your secret to looking so great? Because you look absolutely fabulous.
Oh, thank you. I do Botox. I do whatever I can do to a limit. So yes, I do stuff.
Do you need more exercising because of the show? Because it's physical, so you're just walking around and it's
Yes.
not like sitting down and writing. It's quite different.
No, that is one of the big differences. You have to exercise. In fact, after I do all these interviews, I have to go and exercise. I really just want to lie down. But no, you have to exercise, you have to work out, you have to eat right, all of those things that actresses have to do. That if you're a writer, you don't have to do it because who's going to see you? Nobody. And then you have to dye your hair.
I didn't have makeup on the whole day because
You have to do makeup. You have to do Botox.
Did you think at the beginning that this whole story of Carrie and Sex and the City will have a so big impact on women, of self esteem of women, of the thinking of how they date, how they treat themselves?
No, I didn't know, but ever since I was a kid, I wanted to do something that would make women think in a different way, that would affect women. I didn't know what it would be because I grew up in the 60s and the 70s, which were very sexist, very rigid, what women could and couldn't do, and how you were supposed to think. And I always hated it. So I always prayed that someday I could change how women think. And I've been very lucky because I think Sex in the City has done that.
Yeah, I think you did. So thank you for our freedom in this sense. Thank you very much, and we meet on the March on 19th.
Wonderful.